Hello, we're back.
We're live.
And we're in a brand new location.
So sit tight, because anything can happen in the next hour.
Winter. A season of drama and spectacle. A time we welcome visitors after long migrations.
And we've migrated too. Across the sea to Northern Ireland, where we've set up our main base at Mount Stewart, a wild haven for a host of characters.
Our cameras are rigged and rolling to capture all the action. And we'll spread our wings across the UK to experience wild encounters.
It's oyster catchers, oyster catchers.
Maybe I've seen the water, I just flying in here.
That is the sound of winter.
We'll see the secret lives, sensational symbiosis, and the hidden wonders of the natural world. Ready?
Yeah.
Wow. Look at that. So get ready to live the drama with us, because this is Winterwatch. Hello, and welcome to Winterwatch 2026, coming to you live from the National Trust Mount Stewart Estate here in Northern Ireland. Yes, we've crossed the sea for the first time to base ourselves here, and we're very excited about that because it's a tremendous place which is at the moment just a little bit
Wet.
correct. correct. But there's so much stuff here. It's absolutely brilliant. We're going to bring you a wealth of wintry wildlife over the next 4 nights. And we can start now. Listen, I'm going to take my hat off to the fact that we're going to start with the success. Let's go live to a badger here at Mount Stewart.
Look at that!
Oh, come on.
You know why that is? They put me in charge of badgers this week. Yes, live badgers. Look at that.
Oh,
You've never been terribly successful on the Watchers with live badges.
Not up till now,
It's
no.
because you're with us, that's
Yes,
why,
that's
Yolo.
true. Yes, it probably is.
Look at that, what a
brilliant?
start.
That is a great start.
Right at the top.
Facial close-up of a badger.
And hopefully we'll be seeing a lot more of them.
Hopefully we will. Hopefully we will. Well, we're at Mount Stewart on the banks of Strangford Lough, but many will be thinking, where exactly is that? Well, let's show you on the map here. Here we are, Northern Ireland, Belfast, half an hour away. National Trust Mount Stewart Estate, right on the banks of the wonderful Strangford Lough. It's an incredible place.
It's a very beautiful place, but I'll tell you what's not beautiful is the weather today. I mean, as you say, it's wet, but it's been really windy and cold as well. Last week was lovely and sunny. I know what you're thinking, you should have been here last week. This is what it looked like. Look at those gorgeous blue skies. There's a variety of habitats here. Lots of woodland, 300 acres. A third of that is ancient woodland, like ash, oak and beech trees, all great for wildlife. Around that woodland, there's lots of rough farmland, which is sensitively managed for wildlife as well. You've got woodland edges, hedges, margins, lots of biodiversity, and that biodiversity provides home for a wealth of wildlife.
Yes, indeed, as Michaela says, we have so many different habitats here, and that means that it's jam-packed full of all kinds of wildlife. And these are the characters we're hoping to bring you this week. Red squirrels, beautiful red squirrels. Endemic, of course, so those lovely tufty ears. They do rather well up here in Northern Ireland. Pine marten. Nocturnal, quite elusive, but there's a good population here. We'll try to catch up with some pine martens for you as well. Badgers. We've already seen live badgers. I am the lucky charm for badgers. We have a big set here. There will be badgers galore. Badgers coming out of my ears Otters, will we get otters? There are otters, we know there are otters here, we've had reports of otters, we might see them. Woodland birds, of course, lots of woodland, lovely little goldcrest, redpoll there as well. Birds of prey attracted by the mice and voles. Long-eared owls, we saw long-eared owls nesting in Springwatch. They are here, we're hoping we may well catch up with some.
And of course this estate, as you mentioned, Yolo, is nestled on the banks of Strangford Loch, and this is a critically important international body of water when it comes to waders and wildfowl and other birds. No less than 150 square kilometres, 240 kilometres of coastline, thanks to its invaginations, and 120 small islands, which obviously prove to be very, very useful in the wintertime when these birds need to go to their roosts. So what are we talking about? We're talking about Brent geese, we're talking about hooper swans, widgeon teal, shelduck, waders galore, and hopefully we'll be catching up with some of those during the course of our series. Look at that curlew there with a crab. Happy curlew. Oh, male pintail. Yolo, come on.
Beautiful, my favourite duck, Mill. Beautiful, elegant, stunning.
I think we're going to have a mammal fest this week and a wader wonderland.
I hope so.
That's what I'm predicting. There's no doubt about it. It's a stunning place and it means a lot to the local people. So we asked local naturalist and conservationist Darren McAnulty what this place means to him.
I have been coming to Mount Stewart now for probably about 17 years. And this was my escape out of the city. Whenever I come here in winter and I'm wandering the woodlands and the mudflats, and you can feel this peaceful tranquility just sort of settle on you like a blanket that's sort of wrapping around your ears and your mind. And I can just feel all of my worries and stresses just sort of seep out of my brain, puzzle on the floor, and I can just step right over them. There is always one species that I'm always looking out for, and that is the red squirrel. I can hear them in the trees all around me. Oh, a bullfinch. I absolutely love those birds. They've got that massive, puffed out red chest. Like they're telling the world, just look at me, how big and strong I am. They've got that such bright, vibrant colour, like this firework that has gone off in a bush. Whenever I see one, I'm like, yes. I have to come and visit the loch. It's an essential part of going to Mount Stewart and seeing all of the amazing birds that winter over here. It is almost that winter ritual. I think I can see a few eider duck down there. There's pintail spiders islands as well. I think my favourite to see out here is almost certainly the curlew. It's the call, I think, for me. It's the almost haunting sort of warble. And then you see it and it's got that curved, almost dagger of a beak, that scimitar, and you're like, this is a cool bird. I feel like there are places that you grow up with, places that are so deeply embedded in your brain that whenever you come back, it just warms really deep inside your soul. I feel like the day that I stopped being able to come here is either I physically can't get here or I've gone to the next life.
Thank you very much, Dara. Now, we've been at our usual tricks, of course. What we've been doing in the meantime is setting up all of our cameras here so that we can stick our nosy noses into that of all of the wildlife that's happening. So we've got a whole range of cameras out across the estate. We can take a look at 9 of those at the moment. You can see we put them up in a variety of habitats, some by the stream, some out in the woodland. Let's take a brief look at our badger set at the moment. I'm not expecting to see much on a night like tonight. I've got to say, badgers not too fond of wind and rain because it disturbs their hearing. And you know their eyesight isn't very good. And with the wind blowing the scent around, they're not terribly happy. And with the noise making of that rain making so much of a row, they don't generally emerge as regularly as they do when it's dry. But we'll keep our eyes peeled and hopefully might see something a bit later on.
Yeah, very quiet there tonight, but a few nights ago we had a great deal of activity. It's a big set, it's a very active set. The badgers coming out, they're always a little bit reticent, stick their heads above the parapet, Out they come, not one, but two badgers. You can see it's a well-worn, well-used set, a bit of scratching. Big male there, I suspect he is. Just getting rid of a few fleas before he goes out. Little bit of play fighting as well. This helps to build up the bond between members of that one clan there. They look like females to me, fairly narrow heads, beautiful black and white marked heads there. And some scent marking. Again, they use their hearing, as Chris said, yes, but they also use their keen sense of smell, so they need to be able to smell friend from foe. And then there's a scrum of badgers there. I hate to mention scrum with the Welsh rugby team not doing very well, but I threw that in without thinking. All the Welsh rugby fans, I'm sorry, I won't mention it again. Sorry about that.
Don't mention scrum! It's great to see all those. I mean, as I say, I'm feeling very positive about all our mammals here. It was a very action-packed night, the night that we saw all those badgers. So on a different camera in the same wood that we actually put on a squirrel feeding sort of section, and we didn't see squirrels, but we saw another elusive mammal, and it is this, a pine marten. Look at that, going into the feeding box, and as it comes out, take a look at the bib. You can see just about that there's one spot on its bib. Now, all of them have very different markings, so we're going to get to know this particular character.
How are you going to call it then? One spot?
No, because that's way too predictable.
No.
I'm going to call it Zitty.
Zitty?
Zitty. It's got a zit,
right.
so it's
not entirely flattering, but...
No, not entirely flattering.
I suspect that's going to divide the nation, you know.
Yeah, I think you're probably
you
right.
can't call it Zitty.
But anyway, we're going to keep our eye on this one and we're going to try and get to know it. It's got a slight build and a fresh face, so we're thinking it's possibly a young one. You can see that very characteristic bushy tail.
It's got a slight build, right, and a lovely face, but terrible complexion.
Yes, but great to see. And again,
lovely.
I'm feeling positive that we're going to see more of the pine marten.
Yes, as long as the wind and rain didn't carry on.
Exactly.
Yeah, right. Well, we were watching those pine martens on that feeding station, and we also spotted this piece of behaviour. So look, here's the marten, and it shuffles up to that collection of food, all sorts of things in there, mainly nuts. And of course, they are omnivores. Although they spend quite a bit of time feeding on small mammals on the ground, they are omnivores, so they eat plenty of fruits if they can. But look, it's not entirely at ease, is it? Something's putting on edge. Sticks its nose in, thinks about having a little nibble, but look, looking over its shoulder, what could possibly be there at this time of night that would upset a pine marten? And then it comes out. Look to the left there, and on the floor you can see that a badger has snuck in to pick up any food that's been spilled. The pine marten's not in the slightest bit happy about this. Look at the tail flicking there, clearly agitated and on edge. And here, look, the badger's on the right. The pine marten, however, is looking over to the left. It's almost as if it can't see it, which is odd, isn't it?
Do you know what I'm going to wager?
No.
I'm going to wager that we're going to see the badger, the pine marten and the red squirrel all on that camera at some stage, because that is where the red squirrels are. So
All at once.
all at once? Yeah, by Friday.
How much do you want to bet on that?
I'll take that. Just
£2,500.
your house. Thank you very much. We won't.
what have I done?
But hopefully we will see a lot more pine martens, a lot more red squirrels, a lot more badgers this week. We will be keeping an eye on those cameras, and you can too. They are live from 10 a.m. until 10 p.m. Just go to the BBC iPlayer. Now, last night was a stunning night for the Aurora Borealis, or the Northern Lights. Unfortunately, it was cloudy here.
Yeah.
A lot of us went out to the car park, didn't see it, went back and had another pint. But we know that a lot of you were out and about because you've sent in some of your photographs. Look at that. Rachel Casti, Northern Ireland, look at that.
That's incredible.
It is stunning.
Beautiful.
Absolutely stunning. The amount of red in there.
Yeah.
Just look at that. And this is from Christopher Rutter up in Scotland, more green than that, but that is beautiful. And usually the camera picks up more than the naked eye.
Yeah.
But people telling me they picked up a lot of colour with the naked eye this time. And this one, Simon Robinson in Wales, the best of all of them. Look at that. Clear air, nice clean air. No, they're all absolutely stunning. But it wasn't just photographs. We had this video sent in as well. This was sent in by Elizabeth Allison in Inverness. Just look at the lights flickering back.
Oh, look at that.
Stunning, isn't it?
What a start
it
to
is.
our winter
And it was
watch.
all over the UK except for us here in Northern Ireland. So thank you very much. Please do keep sending those in. If you want to know how, well, just visit the Winterwatch website. Thank you for those.
I'll tell you what, you might not have been lucky with badgers in the past, but you've not been lucky with Northern Lights, have you?
No,
didn't
well,
see it last night.
I hadn't been, and then you and I, went off a few years ago to Norway, and we had a fest, didn't we?
We did indeed.
Never forgotten it.
I
So
hope
if
we
you get the
that
chance.
Again. Let's hope we get that again this week. It'd be amazing to see. Keep your eyes out for those wonderful night skies. It's been a good start, hasn't it? I mean, we want to know what you've seen. You've certainly sent us in some great pictures already, but we want to know what winter means for you.
My favourite thing in winter is coming for a walk when the skies are blue and there's a really low sun and it's making the frost sparkle like diamonds.
It's just after sunrise. It's -6, and although I was here to see all the birds, there's something even more interesting. The sea has frozen. It's not very often we see this in this country.
In winter, with all the beautiful snow that we've had, it just looks extra special.
What I love about winter is finding out what's come before me, seeing the footprints in the snow.
Winter is one of my favourite times of year because it is when I film the star commemorations, and I'm always in awe every time I see them, the sound they make when they go over your head.
Just so appreciate the beauty and the form of the branches as they're spiraling up to the sky.
It's a quiet time of year, so when you do see animals out, it feels a little bit more special. This morning I can hear all the lovely birds singing away.
One of my favourite things to do in the winter is to come down to the bay and look out to the sea. It's absolutely magic.
There's a clarity to the sunrise that you just don't get any other time of the year.
I love winter because the cold, crispy air, the frozen lakes and the beautiful sunset.
I love the winter because it means that I get to listen to some very noisy wildlife first thing in the morning.
I'm a great fan of winter too, myself. At this point in time, you've got all the tawnies calling, and you can hear those whether you're out in the countryside or the middle of the city. You've got foxes barking. It's their mating season. So it's not a series of death and decay. It's actually a season where there's lots going on. Lots going on. There should be lots going on, but I seem to have lost my co-presenters. Oh, no, I haven't, unfortunately. What's happened? You've been signed up to some mad cult or something?
Well, do you know what? I've got to be honest, I thought I was going out to rob the rich and feed the poor with Robin Hood, but alas, no.
We're obviously the Traitors.
Obviously.
You know the Traitors?
I'm aware
very
of the
successful
programme.
series that's clashing with... Well, it's not clashing, but it's on at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, do you know it? Have you
Well,
watched
I've not watched it, no.
Oh, it's amazing, Chris. I mean, that is why we're actually on at 7 o'clock, because Traitors is on at 8. We didn't want to clash. We didn't want our faithfuls going over to the Traitors. See what I did there, guys?
No.
Honestly, heathens. But let's sit us down, because we're going to start now. It's a new year. It's a new game. Actually, I'm going to pull this down so I look like Claudia with my long fringe. It's Nature's Traitors. You're getting it.
You're the traitors. You're letting the whole show down here, honestly.
It's brilliant. You must watch it. It's really good.
OK, yeah. I wonder if I can squeeze it in. Right. In terms of the natural world, I suppose you could say there are plenty of traitors. If they're not necessarily traitors, then there are plenty of sort of deceitful animals out there. So we're going to run through a few of those. I'm going to start with something, not an animal, actually. It's a type of fungi called cordyceps. Cordyceps. Now, typically, it infects insects, but you might have heard for it, because in The Last of Us game and TV series, it infects humans. That's science fiction. I'm going to give you the science fact about this, and I can show you how it works with this prop. Oh, yeah, no, first of all, I'm going to show you this. So here it is in here. Like, I'm going to reveal it. I've forgotten about this because I don't watch the programme. Here we go. There we are. There it is. So there it is, right? And the species of cordyceps that we're talking about is called the Scarlet Caterpillar Club. Now, Yolo and I used to go there in the 1980s.
we were banned, if I recall, Chris, yes.
We
were thrown
banned.
out.
We were banned. How does the Scarlet Caterpillar Club work? Well, spores from the fungus land on the outside of moth larvae or pupae when they are underground. And those spores secrete an enzyme which melts the exoskeleton and allows the fungus to get inside the body of the larvae or the pupae. So let's remove that. Let me just tuck that off there. Go. So here we are. And then at that point, they start to spread through the body of either, as I say, the larvae or the pupae. And this is the fungal mycelium, the body growing through it there. Now, what's really interesting is that it doesn't just grow through the body. When it's in the larvae, it modifies its behaviour. It secretes an enzyme which breaks down glucose, which fools the larvae into thinking it's not eating enough. So it eats even more and more and more. So it gratifies and feeds the fungus so it can continue to grow. And it waits until the larvae pupates like this, and then finally it secretes toxins and kills it when it's got enough nutrition. Of course, it needs to reproduce, so then it pushes its fruiting bodies out through the top of the pupae, and they emerge above ground, and here they distribute more spores so that they too can be blown away to land on the unsuspecting bodies of moth, caterpillars or pupae. We've got some pictures here. Here you can see the Scarlet Caterpillar clubs poking through the moss. That's where the spores will be. And look, here's one that's been dug out, and you can see, if you look at the base of that, that's the mummified remains of either the caterpillar or the pupae.
That's
Come
impressive.
on.
That is impressive.
That's a traitor.
And do you know, if that was a celebrity traitor, that would be Stephen Fry. It would be clever, it would be complex, eccentric. Yes, the Stephen Fry of the traitors, that is.
Straight over my head. Go on.
That's okay. I'm going to shock you now. I'm going to let me reveal my nature's traitor. Have a look at this. Let me just get the hood off. There we are. Oh, look at that. Look at that. A gull. You look shocked. Gull? You look shocked. Gulls. Gulls. Kleptoparasites par excellence of the natural world. That let other creatures do all the hard work, then they swoop in and steal the food. Have a look at this. Black-headed gulls. Innocent-looking black-headed gull. But they're in the middle of a puffin colony. The puffin comes back with sand eels, making its way down the burrow to feed its chick. Now the gulls know this. They ambush them on the way back, harass them. The poor puffin tries to get away. It releases some, if not all, of its fish. And sometimes the gulls will even turn on each other. Look at them, like a gang of hoodies hanging around a street corner, mugging puffins. But that is not all. Oh, no. Sometimes they attack humans too. Oh, yes. Look at this gull, walking around, eyeing it up. Look, carefully looking around, looking for a weak prey, someone on the phone maybe, someone who's not quite alert. Not the pigeons, ignore the pigeons. Down it comes, waiting for its opportunity, swoops and steals that. This is in Bath. And not just a sausage or chips, ice cream, anything. Who hasn't walked on the prom in Llandudno and been mugged for its chips? Well, I certainly have. And do you know how to keep them at bay?
No, go on, you tell us, Yolo.
You stare at them. Just look them right in the eye. And then, honestly, it's true. Scientists have worked this out. It's not me making this up.
We should have given a warning about that.
We should have.
There's kids crying
and
all over the UK.
And then the gulls
now.
will come very warily towards you and then scoot away. So, look them in the eye.
Yeah, all right.
I give you nature's traitor, the humble gull.
You did a really good job at selling that. I mean, it's a bit
Thank you.
but you did a really good job at selling it. And if that was a celebrity traitor, it would be Alan Carr, I think. It would be bold, sassy and noisy, eh?
Yes.
And quite annoying.
I don't think you should say that.
Yeah,
live on
loud,
telly.
very loud.
Dear, oh me. Sorry, Alan. Anyway, I'm going to give you Nature's Traitor number 3. I'm going local.
Oh,
You
good.
Can, you can find it in Strangford Lough, and it is, let me just take the hood off here, it's the anglerfish, otherwise known as the monkfish. This is an incredible traitor. Just have a look at it, because it's an extraordinary looking thing for a start. And look, you can't quite see what it is, but you see the eyes here, that's its mouth. You can see the fish here, perfectly camouflaged on the bed of the ocean there, or the loch, or wherever it is. But what's extraordinary about it, you can just about see here, it's got this thing on top of its head. It's an ambush predator, and it ambushes with this rod that I'm going to put on my head so you can see it. I'm going to put it on my hat here. And this is made out of a specialised dorsal fin. It's called an elysium, and it wafts it around. I have to go down a bit, otherwise I'll lose it outshot. It wafts it around to try and attract prey, which is usually some sort of small fish. Have you got the fish?
Ridiculous you look.
Well, I mean, what's new, quite frankly, on this show?
Right.
Okay,
You're just like slumping.
I'm a slumping anglerfish.
Right, go on.
Okay, and now a fish comes along.
Right, small fish.
And then I catch the fish.
Hold on. No. First of all, it goes to the bait.
Yeah, it thinks that it's its own prey.
Yeah.
And suddenly it'll get on the bait, that little knob on the end of the rod.
Yeah.
And then it will get engulfed in my mouth. It'll sucked into my enormous mouth. If I was an anglerfish, obviously I don't have an enormous mouth.
An awful lot of stuff comes out of it.
Yes, it's a lot of intelligent stuff that comes out of my mouth. But anyway, let's have a look at it and see it in action, because it is quite extraordinary. So you can see you can hardly see it. I mean, it's completely camouflaged. And let's just watch that again. So it's camouflaged, you get the fish going, and then it just engulfs it into its mouth.
Amazing, isn't it?
I mean,
Incredible.
that is Nature's Traitor number 3, and I think it's a really good contender. And I should just say, actually, that was Lil Hogan gave us that footage, because it is incredible. And that would be the Celia Imrie, if that was a celebrity traitor, because, I mean, they look gorgeous and it looks completely naive, but very cunning.
Are you saying that Celia Imrie looks like a monkfish?
I think she'd quite like that, because she's mischievous.
Really?
She's mischievous.
Let's ask her lawyers about that in the morning.
Celia, I think you'd quite like that, wouldn't you? You'd like to be an anglerfish.
All right, OK.
There's
got to be a winner. There's got to be a winner.
It's definitely not the goal, sorry.
You don't think so?
You sold it well. No.
Joe, I have a confession to make. I don't even like gulls.
Oh, no, come on.
I admire them, but I don't like gulls. I'm quite happy to step back.
OK, so
it's between you two.
So is it me, is it the anglerfish, or is it you?
Oh, come on. A fungus that infects a moth.
You'd be too clever. They'd have voted you off earlier on.
Hold on, as a neutral, it's up to me.
Yeah.
And as good as your argument was, I'm sorry, it's got to be the zombie fungus.
OK, well, it's a good name.
It's got to be the zombie fungus.
You got it, you're the winner. You're the traitor.
Well done, yeah.
Look at that.
Brilliant.
Lovely.
Well, we are going to be concentrating, of course, on the wildlife here at Mount Stewart, but we will be, get me mouth right, we will be looking further afield as well, of course. We sent wildlife researcher Jack Barhams right to the heart of Belfast in search of a much-loved wildlife spectacle.
Belfast, Northern Ireland's vibrant capital city, buzzing with activity day and night. In the centre of the action, crossing the River Lagan, is the Albert Bridge.
It's a local landmark and a lovely spot to take in views of the city, but over the years it's become home to a pretty awesome wildlife spectacle. The clues as to exactly what that is are etched here into the lampposts.
For years, this was a famous spot for a spectacular starling murmuration. Thousands of birds gathered here to roost in the girders underneath this bridge.
So why are starlings roosting under a bridge anyway? Well, it's safe. It's sheltered from the worst of the weather, and the fact it's over water means that predators find it much harder to get to them. It may also be warmer under there, as the river holds its heat, protecting them from the worst of the chill. But then, in 2019, the bridge's lights were upgraded to bright LEDs. The eco-friendly choice, or so it was thought, because that winter, for the first time in years, the starlings didn't show up.
Conservationists thought that this was because the new bright lights were stressing the birds, stopping them from roosting here.
The council took action. Blackout screens were fitted to some of the lights, and some of the others were changed to red, which has less impact on the birds. The ones underneath the bridge, well, they're now only turned on if absolutely necessary.
These changes made a massive difference. That winter, for the first time in 4 years, the starlings began to return.
I'm here tonight in the hope that even more will be back this year.
And it seems there's a lot of local excitement for the starlings making a comeback.
I was down here with my mum a couple of years ago, and then we came down to see 6 mill around and then disappear, which was really upsetting. And then with the great work that's been done, the older things with the light, we're now starting to see it restored to what it was, and that's just going to be wonderful to see in the future.
The first few are arriving now, directly above us. And they're just starting to circle over the bridge. More coming, joining the flock now. Ooh, absolutely stacks of them coming in here. There's loads. Oh, this is good. And the noise. I always forget about how good the noise is when they get directly above you in the wings. Yeah, the sky is filling. I'm getting serious starling neck right now.
When you actually see them in real life, it's like, whoa, they like fill the entire sky. It's just amazing to be able to witness this like phenomenon that I've never seen before. It's just incredible.
They're certainly back in force tonight. There's easily over 1,000 birds here.
Oh. Oh, are they the first ones that are going down, going down? They're going under. Like bats going into a cave, aren't they? Yeah. Oh, yes. That's cool.
These are sites that are just so precious, and to have it here in the middle of the city where everyone can come down and have a look at it and hopefully get inspired to really do something, not even just for the starlings, but for nature in a whole, I think that's the greatest part.
To the people of Belfast, to the council, to everyone who fought for these starlings to keep this spectacle going, I salute you.
It's great that, isn't it? I mean, the council made a mistake, they realised their mistake, they rectified it, and they made a difference for wildlife. Brilliant stuff, brilliant stuff. What are you doing? What are you doing?
No, listen, it's my new thing.
What, dad dancing?
No.
Oh, what is it?
Running on the spot, it's called exercise. I'm getting hooked on endorphins, you know, the dopamine, serotonin, bit of that.
But you look ridiculous. Why are you doing it right now?
And it was ridiculous, of course,
yes, of
but
course.
I'm doing
Absolutely.
that because it's very interesting. We do get pleasure out of running. You get pleasure out of exercising.
Yeah.
Yolo, I saw him sneaking around in Lycra first thing this morning in the hotel, heading to the gym. The gym, I thought it was a bloke's name. Anyway, the point is we get pleasure because of those hormones. Would other animals get that? Well, this interesting experiment was conducted in the Netherlands by a couple of scientists. And what they did was they put some mouse running wheels out in the wild. Now, they put them in cages, but they were open so the mice could get in and out. The cages were there to stop the birds stealing the food, because initially they baited them to attract the mice, so they found the wheels. And then they monitored the behaviour. This is what they saw. So here you see a mouse, and this is a wild mouse, and it's running just as your hamster or your mouse might have been running if you had it in your house. It wasn't just mice that came in. Look at this. A frog took to the wheel and started exercising. Extraordinary. Not just a frog. This was ambitious. This is ambitious. This is a slug. And look at that, an Olympian, very slowly moving. Now, what was interesting is that pretty rapidly, after a couple of weeks, they withdrew all of the food. So there's no food there, but the wheels were there. And do you know what? The mice continued to visit the wheels, and sometimes they would run in them for up to 18 minutes, and this was months after the food had disappeared. So what this simple experiment showed was that this was a natural behaviour that was being replicated in captivity, and it wasn't some anomaly that only occurs through sort of stereotypical behaviour in rodents that are being kept in cages. Maybe, we don't know this of course, maybe those mice, maybe the frog, maybe even the slug was feeling good in the wheel, just like Yolo this morning in the gym.
It's interesting stuff, isn't it? So, you know, we love an experiment on the Watches, so we decided to copy that experiment and put not only a hamster wheel out here on Mount Stuart, but also a larger wheel, which apparently cats use, domestic cats. I mean, goodness knows why. But anyway, we put them out for 6 weeks to see what would happen. And yes, the wildlife was interested. Red squirrel comes in, not heavy enough to get it turning, unfortunately. Badger, well, that would be heavy enough, but it kind of just goes through the wheel instead of running on the wheel. Interested, but not interesting for us. Next, we got a rat. Now, a rat's not going to be able to turn that wheel, but you can see lots of mammals coming in.
Come on.
Now, this is what we want to see. Pine marten. He looks interested. Is he going to run? Oh, he was really teasing us. We were so hoping that he would spin the wheel, but no. Weren't that lucky.
Key thing is that these animals are all a bit neophobic. They're all afraid of new things. So that's why those scientists baited those wheels for a couple of months to get those animals used to them. So maybe we simply haven't done it long enough. We also put out some small wheels, not just that large one. And we can go live to one of those now to see if there's any activity. Well, that's like me in the gym. There's a lot of equipment that's not being well exercised. However, we've had mice there. We've had mice exploring this because they did go to the bait. And look, they get in the wheel. This is a wood mouse. It's having a little nibble of whatever we put in there. Come on, mate.
Go on, run.
Come on.
Tease, what a tease.
Oh, goodness me, look at that.
All we need is Michael McIntyre to get that wheel going round and round.
No, we don't need that at all. We don't need that at all. Look at that. Oh, anyway, look, we're going to keep them open. You can keep your eyes on those. Keep your eyes peeled on our cameras to see if you can see any activity in there.
Do you think we're being a tad ambitious with that one?
No, do you know what? I don't, actually.
Yeah, you reckon we're going to get lots of action, do you?
I think if we put more food there to get them in at this point, then that would be the thing to do. Yeah.
Well, we shall see by Friday, eh? We shall see if we get any mammals in the wheel. But we put Yolo in the hamster wheel, we set it off it went, and it's ended up at the aptly named Temple of the Winds.
Yes, indeed. Do you know what? I love this. There I was in a lovely warm teepee with Chris and Michaela. Who gets sent out to the wind and the rain? Yes, send Yolo. But this time, I don't mind. Look at this building behind me. This is called the Temple of the Winds. And why was it built here? Well, it's night time now. I can't see anything. But this looks out over an absolutely stunning vista. It's tucked away in the trees here, but you're looking out over the stunning Strangford Loch. Honestly, the view in the daytime is beautiful here. Now, as I said, I can't see anything, but it doesn't matter. I've got a trick up my sleeve. Come over here with me, Mark Yates, so wildlife camera operator. Now, Mark isn't the trick. The trick is this here. This is a thermal camera, so it's going to pick up the heat of any birds, any mammals we see out there. Have you got anything, Mark? Anything at all?
The rain's not helping us, but no seals today, but we can see a few waders out there, the little white spots there.
There is quite a bit of movement out there, but they're a long way out. But earlier on, Mark recorded this. You can see the waders feeding out there. That one, I think, is a curlew. Yes, there we are. It's a curlew with that long down curved bill. It'll be probing in the wet mud, looking for lugworms, looking for ragworms out there. A group of, are those curlew or oystercatchers? You can see those seals as well. Now you've got common and grey seals out here. And of course, you might think it's unusual to find birds like these dunlin out here feeding at night. But these birds are dictated to not by the rise and fall of the sun, but by the rise and fall of the tide. So when the tide is in, they seek somewhere safe to roost. And when the tide goes out, that's when all these mud flats are exposed and they can feed. Now, another really important bird that's found out here is the Brent goose. Let's have a look at this goose. There are two different subspecies. The one on the left is called the dark-bellied Brent goose. These breed up in Arctic Siberia and they overwinter mainly on the east coast of England, places like Essex, Norfolk, Suffolk, right up to the north of Northumberland there. And on the right is the pale-bellied Brent goose. Now, this is the one we see here at Strangford Lough. These remarkably breed up in Arctic Canada and they fly over 4,500 kilometres to overwinter. They're mainly west coast, places like Ireland, west of Scotland, north of England, parts of Wales as well. They're beautiful, beautiful geese. Stunningly marked. They're not very big. They're about, well, I'd say roughly the size of a shelduck, but look at the patterning there. All of them feeding together, and you can get between 16 and 30,000 birds here in winter, and that's up to 75% of the total population. Now, one of the things that attracts the birds here is eelgrass. This is a remarkable flowering plant, spends most of its life under the waves. It forms big beds. Now, we've lost a huge percentage of them in the UK, but there's 6 kilometres squared of it here in Strangford Lough. It's an amazing nursery for all kinds of crab and fish. It helps to settle, to solidify the seabed as well. And in winter, the Brent geese, 85% of their diet is made up of eelgrass. So yes, Strangford Lough is vitally important habitat. Eelgrass, of course, is vitally important for the birds, but it's particularly important for the pale-bellied Brent geese. Right. Time to leave the Temple of the Winds and the Rain and back to the warmth of the teepee with Chris and Michaela.
The warmth of the teepee. I rather like geese, you know. I like geese. I'm a geese person.
Well, particularly Brent geese because they're black and white and you like a bit of monochrome,
Yeah,
don't
but
you?
sometimes you get some colour thrown in. There's a thing called a red-breasted goose. Look that up on your internet browser. That's a looker, that one.
Oh, I
actually.
think I'd like that.
The red-breasted goose is pretty special. Now, we've shown you some red squirrels and also some pine martens. You might be thinking, well, is there a conflict there? Because we know the pine marten is highly arboreal, climbs up trees, and that it's a ferocious predator. So are the pine martens impacting negatively by eating the red squirrels? Well, the answer to that is, in fact, no. Research done here in Ireland has shown that when pine martens increase, where there are grey squirrels, they suppress the number of greys, and in fact, the number of reds increases. Perhaps more of that coming up later in the week.
Well, there are no greys here at Mount Stewart, which means there are lots of reds, and we've been getting some fantastic footage of them. Look at that blue sky. Do you remember that, Chris? No, because we haven't seen blue sky. But look, I mean, that's a gorgeous shot, isn't it, of a red squirrel getting its pine cone. And it will take all of the seeds out of that pine cone, delicately stripping it. I mean, you may well have seen those stripped pine cones on the forest floor. Both squirrels, red and grey, do it. And that's how you can tell that squirrels are around. Pine cones, of course, will be one of their favourite seeds to eat, particularly at this time of the year. In lots of places, winter is a very tough time for squirrels, so they will have cached lots of food over the summer and autumn. They've got brilliant memories, so they'll go and find anything that they can to supplement their diet. Their diet is actually being supplemented here at Mount Stewart by the National Trust. They've got a feeding station for the conservation of red squirrels. And so you can see it's eating a variety of different seeds and nuts, chased off by another squirrel there. But look at this. This is where I'm feeling so positive that we're going to get some great interaction because there are plenty of red squirrels on one of our live cameras. And you know, if there are lots of red squirrels around, there's going to be a little bit of chaos.
Let's have a little bit of chaos. Have a look at this feeder. So this feeder is specially designed for squirrels. So it's got a lid on it so the birds can't get in, but the squirrels soon learn to lift it up and then access the food that's inside. When they've eaten sufficiently of that food, it means there's space for the squirrel to actually get inside and then hog all of the food for itself. Controversial. Another squirrel comes in and tries to get some of the food, but no, it's been seen off by the greedy squirrel inside the box. Now, there is a generally unwritten rule in biology that the territory holder always wins. But watch this. The persistent squirrel on the outside finally manages to oust greedy squirrel and become greedy squirrel itself, number 2. And it goes into the box, and it's so happy with its success that once it's had a little nibble, it decides to gloat. Look at that, with its tiny little paws, gloating over the fact that it seized a very valuable resource. Look at that.
Do you know what that looks like? I'm going to call that squirrel Mr. Creosote, because it's just sitting there, isn't it? It's like, oh, I've eaten everything off so far, I can't even get out. That is my favourite shot of the programme so far. That is absolutely brilliant.
Right, now look, we can keep your eyes on those cameras all the way through. Our cameras run from 10 in the morning until 10 in the evening. You can find them on iPlayer and our website. Now, we're putting food out for the squirrels there, but there are certain species you simply can't put food out for, those that are insectivorous, like many of the birds here. And they struggle because it's cold and it's very short days, so they don't get a lot of time to look for that food, and they've got to get through the cold nights. And that's something that's particularly difficult for our smallest bird.
In central Bath, the first rays of winter sun break above the horizon. And with them comes a sense of urgency in this urban park. Flashes of colour dart between the trees. Tiny birds. In fact, they're the smallest birds in all of Europe, barely bigger than your thumb and weighing the same as a 20p piece. The goldcrest. But for a bird so small, winter can be challenging. As many as 80% won't survive these colder months. To beat those odds, goldcrests must eat more than their own body weight every single day. So every morsel counts. But it's not quite that simple. Whilst a lot of birds switch their diet to the more readily available seeds and berries, the goldcrest maintains its insectivorous diet. And that's why winter can prove a problem. Their choice of hunting ground helps, as the conifers provide shelter, not only for them, but for their invertebrate prey too. Insects and spiders hide among the pine needles, protected by a dense web of branches. And the goldcrests employ the perfect extraction method. Aerial finesse. Hovering, however, comes at a cost. Burning energy up to 10 times faster than normal. Something the goldcrest can't always afford. A new hunting tactic is needed. This time, it's agility and precision. Probing between the needles with its narrow beak to tease out tiny invertebrates. But where there are riches, there are rivals. Resident goldcrests are joined by those from the continent who are also looking to make the most of the park's bounty. A flash of colour acts as a warning to stay away. But when resources are limited, they are worth fighting for. Today, however, rain stops play, and there are no winners here. For a bird this small, rain can be dangerous. Waterlogged feathers lose heat quicker, and their insulation starts to fail. There's no choice but to retreat and take cover. Precious feeding time slipping away. As soon as the rain eases, there's no time to waste. With the last of the daylight, every effort is focused on finding enough invertebrates. Bingo! Spiders. They can make up to 60% of the bird's diet over winter, and so make up for lost time. But soon, even this tireless forager has to stop, and hope that the day's feeding efforts have been enough to see it through the night. As dawn breaks, that flash of colour returns to the park, and a new day brings new opportunity. But there's no time to waste.
What about that? What a bird.
Do you know, I love it because I love that flash of colour. You know me, I love a bit of colour.
Yes, flash of colour. What about when the sun was going through the crest at the end?
It's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Not a great bird, but also a great film. You know, when you're watching Goldcrest, they're always on the move. They are amongst the most fidgety of birds. So being able to capture a film like that, top work.
Yeah,
lovely stuff, wasn't it?
Really
lovely stuff.
Do you know, I predicted that we were going to have a bit of a mammal fest. I think we've done pretty well for the first show, haven't we? Red squirrels, pine martens, badgers. Do you want another one?
Mice.
Yeah, yeah, mice as well. But I'm going to give you another... OK, but I'm going to give you another elusive mammal that's doing well here in Northern Ireland. And we heard that it's regularly seen using a water inlet that runs under the road between here, Mount Stewart, and Strandford Lough. So we decided to put a trail camera on it. And guess what it was? It was this. It was an otter. Look at that. An otter swimming through. And as I say, that's a regular route that it uses underneath that road. So we knew that it was there. So we decided to then put a live camera on it and see what we could see on the live camera. Let's have a quick look now. I mean, that would have been incredible, wouldn't it, if we'd seen it just happen to be swimming under the road right at this moment. Let's see what we have seen on the live camera, though, because we put it there because we were hoping to see the otter. Is it an otter? No. It's the other elusive mammal that is seen around Mount Stewart and Strandford Lough. It is a pine marten. And we think this isn't the same pine marten that we saw in the wood.
Not Zitty.
Not Zitty. No, this is that. We haven't had a really clear look at that bib yet, so we're not 100% sure, but we think that it's going to be a different pine marten to old Zitty there.
Zitty the pine marten. The camera's also been delivering in the daytime. Turned up quite a special species. Here we are, look at this. A flash of blue scoots through the tunnel. Slow that down. Unmistakably, of course, it's a kingfisher. Look at that. And then it emerges the other side and lands perfectly in position on the side of the frame there. One of Britain's favourites, the little bit too colourful kingfisher for me, but nevertheless a favourite. And our cameramen have been out and about all across the Northern Ireland area, and they've also found some kingfishers on other bodies of water. Here we are. This is called 6 Mile River. Guess how long it is, Nick?
6 miles.
Could be. Kingfisher there, look at that. Now, sometimes at this time of year, if the weather's harsh, they'll go to the coast where they're feeding rock pools because the water obviously doesn't freeze as easily in the sea as it does in fresh water. This one's not needed to move, and if you watch carefully here, you can see that it's successfully scored a minnow or a stickleback there. Up it goes to bash it to death. We have had a bit of a mammal fest, actually. So here's a few birds. Song thrush. You know, song thrushes in my area at the moment have started singing already. And on a cold winter's morning, listening to a song thrush is great. Look, redpoll. There's a flash of colour for you. Look at that. What a bird. Herons coming into their breeding finery already because they nest very early in the year. Some of them already at the heronries, and they'll be laying their eggs in the next, well, about 6 weeks, I think.
Good stuff, good stuff. Now, it is wet. In fact, it's not as windy as it was, but we have had a very wet, soggy day today. But we've also had what I call early on in the winter, a proper winter. You know, we had snow, it was cold, it was frosty. So it's time to sit back, relax and enjoy the soothing sights and sounds of swans on an icy lake. That was very elegant, very beautiful, very balletic. You know what that was, don't you? Swan Lake.
Let's move on, shall we?
We're running out of time, so there's a chance now to look at some of the images and videos that you've sent us. Look at this. I like this. Look at that. A splatter of starlings. Very Jackson Pollock, that. I like that very much. Make a great jigsaw, wouldn't it? Very difficult jigsaw for the aunt that you don't like very much at Christmas.
If it's very black and white, very much in contrast to this murmuration. Look at the colours in that. Oh, the sky is just glorious. I love that.
Yes, we've also been sending a video of starlings. This was sent in by Matt Jarvis in Somerset. Look at that. My guess is this is somewhere near Ham Wall, where you sometimes get tens of thousands, sometimes even hundreds of thousands. Look at the sunset. Isn't that beautiful? I love these amorphous shapes. Look at that.
That is a sky ballet. I mean, talk about Swan Lake. That's an aerial ballet.
Stunning. Absolutely stunning.
Absolutely love it. Keep sending in your pictures. We love seeing them. Thank you for
that. That is all we've got time for today. We hope you've enjoyed our start here at Mount Stuart. We'll be back tomorrow and we've got some special stuff, including this. A stentor. Yeah, stentor.
And Chris and I will be having a good old-fashioned bird off right here at Mount Stuart.
Well, I think we've started really strong. We've certainly had plenty of mammals on the first show, and you can continue watching them on our live cameras. 10 o'clock in the morning till 10 in the evening, and that's on the iPlayer and on the website as well. We'll be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock, so make sure you join us at that earlier time. So from us here in Northern Ireland, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.